think of Heath Rada, I think of generosity of spirit and faithfulness and hospitality because my first encounter with Heath generated all of those experiences in me as I interacted with him.
I've gotten to know Heath throughout the years as a wonderful churchman, wonderful human being with gentleness and an intelligence that I've really come to appreciate.
That he's a person of integrity and he's a person of real leadership.
Heath's varying experiences in Christian education, in the Red Cross, and bridge building is essential.
That he's always open to listening to everybody, and you can always approach him and talk to him about anything that's on your mind.
And I found in Heath Rada a really very special, caring human being.
I am proud to serve as Heath's candidate for vice moderator. In my experience with Heath, he is a collaborative leader and participant.
I think of Heath's abilities to moderate discussions, to be a voice of reason, to hold views on his own, but be gentle and loving to those with whom he disagrees.
His great sensitivity, his ability to work with a wide variety of people, and to appeal to people in a way that makes those people feel comfortable and want to open up to him.
He is a good steward of his privilege. So what I mean by that is that he's very well aware that he is a white, male, Southern Presbyterian in his 60s. So he's been in a particular place of power for his life. But he also knows that with that power comes responsibility. And so he takes seriously the call to bring other voices to the table, not as tokenism, but because he believes other voices from other groups who've not been in the center of power need to be represented and heard from and taken just as seriously as his voice.
When Heath and I first talked about the possibility of my becoming his candidate for vice moderator, I asked him seriously about his understandings of the differences between tokenism and representation. I've come to believe and trust that Heath wants to provide a safe space for all voices to be heard.
And I think one of the other qualities that would serve him well is his ability to relate in a very careful, articulate way with different communities of people, particularly important in the life of the church today when we celebrate diversity and we're trying to build a diverse community within the life of the church. You know, Heath has been able across his career to speak in some very cogent and powerful and positive ways with students and staff and alumni and trustees with different constituencies in the life of the Red Cross, from those who are being helped to those who are giving and building momentum toward helping others.
But he really engages them, invites them in, works with them, goes to them where they are. And he did a marvelous job helping me as governor, where volunteerism was one of my top priorities.
So one of the big experiences I think any of us who worked in the Red Cross during those days was Hurricane Katrina. But Heath had a unique kind of role there. He was assigned the role of being the liaison between the Red Cross and the governor of Louisiana. And if you remember that event, that was a very highly charged event in American history, had a lot of emotional and organizational sensitivity was required. And so Heath had a unique role to play there and played it excellently.
I think having a lay person in that leadership role is very important, and it speaks to the church in a wonderful way.
He would be a wonderful bridge builder. He's shown that in his past work, both at the Presbyterian School of Christian Education as president there and in his work with the Red Cross. But he also has the ability to help see and build vision for the future. And I think that's something that's also important when you're trying to build bridges. You want to build bridges toward a particular goal or a place. He knows how to help shape vision. He knows how to listen and build consensus toward vision. And I think that's something that's very necessary in the life of the church now, to come together with a common sense of purpose about what God has in store for the life of the church.
And was just exceptional in his career in the Red Cross. In fact, the unit that he managed, which was Richmond, Virginia, and much of the state of Virginia, was always one of those examples that were used of how you could be really good if you, in your region, if you could be like they did in Richmond. A lot of the experimental stuff that was done in the organization was first tried out in Heath's chapter. Several new programs were debuted there or revised there because Heath had a long reputation of really being able to improvise and to implement new strategies and new programs.
Heath is an amazing person. If you select him as our moderator, you will see, I think, us reach a new level of reaching out, connecting, finding people who will connect with us because they like Keith, they trust him. He makes them know that they have a responsibility that God puts on us, but also that he's easy to work with, and they want to work with him, and they will work with him.
And so as we continue on this journey, I trust that he will use not only his own power and privilege, but also his open heart to provide safe space for all of us to pull up a chair at the table and talk about the ways that we would love to see our denomination grow and evolve in the coming years.